there, air signs. I hope you're doing lovely today. Thank you for joining me for another group session. So if you are Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, these messages will be for you. Now friends, if you haven't been to a group session before, all good. Just understand that not all messages are going to resonate, and that is just fine. If you need a private session, please check me out at my website, kellyfergusonreadings.com. And of course, if you like these messages, please don't forget to support me so I can keep supporting you. Whether that's a like, share, following, or subscribing, I'm so happy you're with me, and I hope these messages touch your heart. So, air signs, there's been a lot of heavy stuff going on this year, let's face it. But I think it's time we start looking forward to 2021 to see what are your best gifts. What are the beautiful blessings coming down the line for you? Air signs, please. Air signs. What are the overall energies for 2021? Whoa, here it comes. All right. Knight, be brave and honest. Look at this. So this is a lovely card, but what this card really talks about is respect and integrity. Just because you're a tough person like a knight doesn't mean you go in there and bully a situation. Not like you do that. I'm not implying that you do that, your air signs. But this is about you aligning with what you know is right and aligning yourself with your softer side and only using the strong air energies when you really need to. What does this year look like for you? 2021. What's going to be happening for our air signs? What can we expect? Beginning, middle, and the ending of the year. This is where we start. Okay. All right. All right. Good. Yeah. Okay. They're really showing you that there's going to be some ups and downs in the year ahead. But the beautiful thing is, I see that you have control of yourself throughout all of this. And so as a result, you're going to be able to connect to yourself in a really strong way. The beginning of the year, lake and stillness is where we begin. So this is a card that has a lot of positive energy in it, but also asks you to be emotionally calm, all right? There very well could be some things showing up for you that are, trying to get you to react, okay? And this is like emotionally reacting. But this is you knowing and understanding that you have everything you need, and that sometimes it's best to keep the waters calm, to keep your mind calm, and not respond when things are trying to rock your boat, all right? This is telling me that you really are good, but it's also about practicing and discerning when you react and when you don't. Just like this Knight card, right? Just because you have the power to wield a sword doesn't mean you do it all the time, right? No, there's a time and a place for everything. So right at the beginning of the year, you're going to be called to be calm, to use your calm energy and maintain order. But most of all, within your head and within your heart, okay? Now, the other card that's coming up for you at the beginning of the year, in the middle, really, this is still at the beginning of the year, Gaia and nurturing. So this is about you really taking a step back and knowing how to love yourself. Many times air signs can overthink a problem, and it's just your nature. You're intellectual beings. You really like to know and understand the big picture of things, but sometimes that can kind of take you on a goose chase. This is saying keep your waters calm, air signs, all right? Take some time to nurture and love yourself, and that can look different for so many people. That can look like salt baths and taking rest. Excuse me. That can look like spending time outdoors. That can mean putting time aside for you to enjoy the fruits of your labor, or to even just kick back and watch TV, okay? This is also about a healing piece, okay? There is balance required with all things. So when you have balance within your own personal life and within yourself, then everything else tends to have that same sort of flow. So take a really good step forward to take care of yourself at the beginning of the year. That way your problems don't seem as big. Issues don't seem as unmanageable. You will be able to manage things when you take care of yourself first. Again, if you want to be able to pour from your cup, you have to have a full cup first. Can't pull from an empty cup. Take care of yourself. It's going to be of utmost importance to you, air signs. Why? You're going to be making some changes. You really are going to be reinventing yourself or taking on new energies and actions. Check it out. Ceremony and invocation. This is about you invoking. This is about you initiating changes, knowing what you want and moving forward with the energy to create this, okay? And again, you can't do this if you aren't balanced. You can't do this if you are exhausted, right? Manifestation and starting new projects is something that can take a lot of energy. So if you don't have the energy within yourself and you're not healthy and balanced, you're going to deplete your resources, and it's possible that the goals that you want to achieve won't be met, or it won't look the way that you wanted it to look, okay? So take care of yourself, air signs, okay? And before you start to make all these big changes that I know you're going to do, keep it calm, prepare yourself, all right? With calm, loving energy, because you got work to do. You got big work to do. I see. Now, the beginning of the middle of the year for you, what is that going to start to look like? Ocean, ebb and flow, okay? Now there's ebb and flow to everything in life. And what does this mean? It means the ups and downs, okay? So in the middle of the year, you might feel like a little bit out of balance. You might feel that the energies around you are moving and shaking in ways that you weren't anticipating. And what happens when we do that is we tend to emotionally react instead of just responding and taking a step back. So know that if in the middle of the year things start to go a little haywire, or you're not exactly seeing the fruits of your labor, or possibly people are coming in and creating drama in your life, know that you have a lot more power if you kind of roll with things and don't fight the tides, okay? But also, don't show up to fight things that you don't need to fight. Sometimes people bring their own problems with them. Doesn't mean you need to solve them. You need to stay focused on yourself. You need to first keep, again, that balance within yourself so that you know when to show up and when not to show up. You can definitely support people from a distance. You don't need to be involved in the ups and downs. But this card is also telling you that as you go through these ups and downs in life, that these are lessons that you are supposed to be learning and stuff that is going to help you with your growth. See this beautiful sun? The sun is shining down on you through all of these ups and downs. So have faith in knowing that the things that come across your way are going to make you stronger. But again, you don't have to show up to fight the battle, air signs. Don't fight any battles. Certainly battles that don't belong to you. Now, energy in the heart of the spread. This looks like a scary card, but it's not a scary card, okay? Island and solitude. The reason why this looks a little scary is there's a tree in the dark all by themselves, and sometimes people think this means being isolated or being alone, or, you know, has like a negative connotation in general with the darkness. But take a close look. Look at this card really well. Isn't that tree in full bloom? Yes. Isn't there a lot of growth on this island that seems to be in the dark? Yes. So what this says to you is even if you have to remove yourself from dramatic situations, places, people, whatever that might look like, this is telling you that when you stand in your own power, you have everything you need. You are able to connect with what is right for you and to stand in your own beautiful power and continue to grow. There's going to, and especially with this invocation card here, there's nobody else in this card except for this beautiful lady, right? You can do this all by yourself, air signs. You don't need others to boost you up or to give you support. Of course, that is lovely. Of course it is. But you have everything you need. Don't doubt yourself, air signs, okay? So if things go down just a little bit in the middle of the year, don't stress out because you have everything you need. And sometimes the best problems are solved from a place of quiet and solitude. Sometimes you don't need to go to others for assistance and help. Sometimes that just muddies the waters, okay? Now, the other beautiful thing that's happening at the middle of the year, new moon and promise. Air signs. So this can be very forward facing in terms of meeting somebody, having a romantic connection, moving forward in terms of making new promises to this person or to yourself. This can also talk about new journeys, starting off a new leg, and making promises to yourself in terms of how is this going to be. So connecting back with this Knight card, right, which talks about, you know, being brave, being honest, moving and making action and changes with respect and with integrity. This is about you knowing that in the past when you've had different situations show up that possibly you didn't feel strong, possibly you didn't feel strong in yourself to be able to take things on by yourself. And this can really mean that you're growing in your own shoes, air signs, because the things that you used to have, you know, pull on your self-esteem and make you doubt yourself, you're not doing that anymore. You're like, you know what? I'm strong, I'm able, I have everything I need regardless of who's supporting me and who's not. So I'm making a promise to myself to keep going, to keep continuing with my change, to keep continuing with my own personal evolution, right? It's not easy work to look at your own scars and traumas and heal them and make promises to yourself to change in the future. So here's like just a basic example. For example, like, quitting smoking, right? It's very easy in your head to be able to say, okay, I'm going to quit smoking. But when times are tough, do you actually buckle down and do it? Or do you go back to your old habits? Making promises to yourself to continue being in alignment and continuing to grow. So I definitely see strong choices of you taking the reins and then making promises to yourself to stay on the path, which is exactly what a Knight with Integrity would do, right? Now, your end of the year is showing you that there is going to be some healing and there's going to be some more stuff coming up for you, okay? So we have rain and purification. This card is really talking about knowing what is not for you, what doesn't feel good, and allowing yourself to gently purify this from your system. Because when you remove negative things that aren't serving, that aren't helping, that aren't getting you to where you need to be, you make space for beautiful things to come your way, air signs. So I feel like this is a little bit touch and go. And like I said, there's cycles in this year for you. I feel it's like you see something, you purge it, and you start again. You see something else comes up, and then you purge that, and you move forward. Like 2 steps forward, 1 step behind. And every beautiful step here is continuing to allow you to grow, all right? So purify any of these negative things that are coming up for you and allow it to go. Just let it go, okay? And all of your hard work is going to pay off if you stay committed to the task, right? Dance and celebration. This is about you not necessarily seeing how far you've come, but in the moment when you kind of take a step back and see, wow, I've done this, I've done that, I overcame this, I overcame that, I did it by myself, I kept my promises to myself, then what happens? You celebrate. You see the forest through the trees, and then you can really give yourself a pat on the back and know, you know what? I thought I could do it. I did it. I kept myself going, and now I made it. This is wonderful, wonderful, air signs. This is beautiful. And then also near the end of the year, again, you've got some cycles here going on, air signs, okay? So at the end, we have iceberg and submerged. So this is telling me that as you start to rid people, places, things, mindsets, old bad habits, some other stuff is gonna keep resurfacing. And this is actually a good thing in the big picture because so many of our traumas and triggers lay hidden and lay dormant within ourselves, whether it's emotionally, mentally, whatever that is for you, okay? So allow these emotional things to come up to the surface so that you can see it for what it is, know what it's about, and rid it, okay? Again, purifying, air signs, okay? Don't stuff things down. It never solves anything. It only just delays your healing and creates more problems. So I love how you're taking these things on like a head on, or like solving your problems in a very proactive type of way. So keep going. There's going to be some beautiful, beautiful wins for you. And I feel that as you come and tackle all of these little challenges, it's going to get easier and easier. So you keep up with that, air signs. It's going to work out for you. Let's see what your spirit animals have to say. Spirit animals, any messages for our air signs? Air signs, please. Air signs for our spirit animals. Oh, wow, this came up for the fire signs. Koala and empathy. So air signs, this is about you not necessarily being involved in everything and being involved in all the solutions, taking a step back, speaking less, listening more, and knowing that sometimes the best support that you can give to someone is to listen and to be a nice shoulder to cry on, not necessarily to sweep in there and solve other people's problems, because you got your own work to do, and that's just fine. Air signs, I hope this message helped you and gives you faith and beautiful visions for what's going to happen in 2021, because you can absolutely handle all these changes and rise above all the negativity and reinvent yourself. If you enjoyed this session, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And of course, join me next week for your next reading. Thank you, air signs.